Hi, my name is Alexia Lilly. I am a sophomore majoring in middle level education with an English concentration, and I will be presenting about how a short selection and a long selection studied this semester has changed my perspective on literature. The short story that I have selected is King of the Bingo Game. What truly has helped shape my perspective of literature was learning how to analyze a piece of literature's biography, history, content, theme, and purpose. This selection was the first story to show me the significance of that. The story takes place up north in a movie theater. The main character is a man from the South who enters a bingo game in hopes to win a cash prize to pay for his wife, Laura's, medical expenses. He is supposed to press a button that must land on 0 to win, but when he goes up for his turn, he has a nervous breakdown and refuses to let go of the button. During this scene, he screams, he cries, and even forgets his own name. When I initially read this, I concluded that he was upset because he knew his wife's life depended on the money. However, when we discussed the text in class, we were encouraged to understand why he remained unnamed as the main character and why he forgets who he is. The question we were asked was, is he even a real person? After this, I looked up the author's famous works, one being Invisible Man, which portrayed the experience of Black men in society who feel unseen and unheard. Knowing that King of the Bingo Game was published first, I was able to determine that this concept inspired Invisible Man, meaning that the purpose of both texts align. This lesson taught me that literature is history and expression that usually embodies the experience of its time. The long selection that I have chosen to speak about is Of Mice and Men. This tells the story of two men named George and Lenny. Lenny is a large man and appears to have an intellectual disability, while George is a non-disabled man and is small. Lenny relies on George for guidance for almost everything, which George makes known, but what he doesn't make known is that he relies on Lenny too. Lenny provides protection and companionship for George. He also helps George's ego and masculinity because he has to take authority when being with Lenny. Of Mice and Men portrays social hierarchy by race, gender, age, and ability. There's a chapter where the marginalized characters are all together. Candy, an old man, Crooks, a black man, Curly's wife, a woman, and Lenny, an intellectually disabled man. The scene takes place in Crook's room, which is separate from where the rest of the workers stay because he's black. All four marginalized characters end up in his room while the owners and George were gone. The characters all begin to interact and implicitly bond over their feelings of inferiority. By the end, Curly's wife calls Crooks the N-word, reasserting her dominance over him and portraying the hierarchy within marginalized groups. This specific chapter stuck with me because it was interesting to see the dynamic between different groups of people who are also oppressed, but to also understand that certain power dynamics will always remain. The story also brilliantly uses foreshadow as a literary device to symbolize Lenny's death as peaceful and innocent. Overall, the pieces of literature studied this year have taught me about the true meaning of literature, which is to artistically express concepts and emotional experiences of a specific period, which is usually the period it's created in. I've enjoyed learning about new literary works and how to properly analyze them. Thank you for watching my presentation.